Hey, Oz.
Hey, Curtis.
Hey, you got a movie for us this week?
I do. See, when I watched our movie this week, all I could think of was the crossover of The Crow
Yeah.
meets Green Lantern
Okay.
meets Doctor Strange
All right.
with a dash of Insane Clown Posse
Makes sense.
and a whole lot of fried green tomatoes. Tawanda!
I love it.
This week we're watching Spawn.
Tawanda!
Yeah,
They
right.
should have cast Kathy Bates as the lead in this.
Or at least 80 yarder voice.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Kathy Bates and Spawn.
As Al Simmons. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Let's Talk About Flicks, the weekly podcast where we take a monthly theme, a theme we're wrapping up this month.
We are.
Non-Marvel DC comic book movie month.
Mm-hmm. Flows so well.
Just to something much shorter and easier to pronounce.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm one of your hosts, Oz.
I'm the other host, Curtis.
And before we get rolling, we do want to give a shout out to Patreon subscribers Don S., Aaron A., Mandy K., Melissa L., and Colleen K. Thanks for your patronage. Oh, boy.
Theirs is the gift that keeps giving, as opposed to this movie, which just taketh away.
Oh, my. I told you via text, I regret picking this film. I mean, there are plenty of other non-Marvel DC comic book movies that have been made, and this is the one I picked.
I didn't want to question you when you put it down originally, but all right, let's have some fun with an awful movie.
I had I thought I had seen this once before. I don't remember any of it. But yeah, question away. Don't let me do this to us. I would do the same to you.
Patreon subscriber Melissa L. and I were coming up with like if this was our or if this was my movie for and for the movie Marriage. Also had The Crow down as well. The Devil's Advocate was another one.
Okay.
Killer Clouds from Outer Space.
Yeah, I didn't want to tarnish that movie with this
fair one. More than fair. And also the Pest with John Leguizamo.
Yeah, The Pest would be a good one as well. But yeah, I tried to bring The Crow, of course.
Yes. Can't rain all the time.
Was that a comic book?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, could have done that one instead of this one. But yeah, Green Lantern is like, a suit that can do literally anything you want it to do.
Anything you can imagine.
Yeah. Doctor Strange on steroids, as this has got a cape that spans multiple city blocks.
Yeah, depending on whatever the plot needs at that moment.
Yeah, ICP was the first one that jumped in here. And as I watched more and more, I realized that pretty much the only thing Al Simmons can emote is the word Wanda. So I'm like, it sounds like Kathy Bates to me.
It sounds like, there's Kathy Bates.
Fried green tomatoes.
It's a lot of links between fried green tomatoes and Spawn.
and The Crow.
I specifically remember Jessica Tandy saying it can't rain all the time.
Right. I think she played Fun Boy. Jessica Tandy is Fun Boy in The Crow. I think, yeah. I'm gonna quickly cover the plot of this film because I'd rather get to the rest of the show.
There's not a whole lot of plot to cover. As we were joking before we hit the on button. Yeah, there's really, you could summarize the plot as Wanda.
Very, very much so. Even from Beyond the Grave, I guess. I don't. Such a. I think I have no desire. Not that I was going to read the comic, but I had no desire to read the comic. Like this.
Yeah.
It's. I don't know.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
Oh my!
All right. Well,
who's in this movie?
Let's get. I'll get through the characters here, and then we'll get to the thick plot of '97 Spawn.
I'm already depressed.
We'll shake you out of this, my friend.
We will.
We've got Michael Jai White, Black Dynamite himself, as CIA agent Al Simmons / Spawn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd much rather have watched Black Dynamite than this movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I am smiling.
I do. I enjoy that movie so much.
We got John Leguizamo as clown / Violator, and boy, does he Leguizamo everywhere in this movie.
Put the whiz in Leguizamo.
Well said. We've got Martin Sheen as CIA Director Jason Wynn, and as we were joking via text, he definitely attended the Tony Hopkins School of Acting. Acting.
Yeah, this. I'm so like, yeah, I just completely mailed in his performance until someone reminded him, "You have to be on set." Okay.
All right. We got Teresa Randall as Wanda, Nicole Williamson as Nicholas Cogliostro. Like a, I don't know what's he? He's like a. He's like an agent of heaven.
Yes, he's like a sage of sorts. Like,
sure,
I've been down this path once before. Yes, way too well spoken for a homeless man.
He's the mentor role to teach Spud how to control his powers and blah, blah, blah,
extremely convenient times for the
plot. He just happens to be there all the time.
Anytime you need him. It's much like the armor.
There. We got another illustrious actor, D.B. Sweeney, or Dub Sweeney, as CIA agent Terry Fitzgerald. We also have Melinda Clarke as another CIA agent, Jessica Priest.
Yeah.
Yeah, Melinda Clarke, as well as her cleavage playing Jessica Priest. Miko Hughes, because apparently we can't get enough Miko Hughes in Let's Talk About Flicks.
It is a New Line Cinema movie, so...
Yeah, he's on retainer.
Yeah.
He's Zach. He's like just a homeless rapscallion who happens to be there.
He's a dog walker is what he is. Like, go get the dog. Thanks for your time, Miko.
We have Sydney Budoin as the French little girl. Yeah. Michael Papajohn. I just like to say that.
I don't blame you.
as Glenn, Zach's abusive father. We have Frank Welker as the voice of Malebolgia.
Oh, my.
And we also have Spawn creator Todd McFarlane cameoing as a homeless man. So, yep.
All right.
And if we count the good performances in this list, I think I'm done counting.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Jai White tried.
He did. Like, I'll give him that. Of looking at this list, like, he was the only one that had a heart in this film. Like, he really did give it an effort.
But there was just nothing to give an effort towards.
No. So he well-deserved Black Dynamite offer, because this easily could have been a movie that just absolutely... I mean, not that the guy's had like an illustrious career, but like could have just absolutely wiped him off the map.
Yeah.
Much like the director, Mark Azedipi.
The Mark Azedipi?
The Mark Azedipi. Prior to this, he directed a short film called Herbie Hancock, This Is the Drum. And then 3 television films in 2004, so you can tell the time dedicated to those. Pixel Perfect, Frankenfish, and Halloween Town High. Followed with a 3-year stint on straight-to-DVD Garfield movies. Garfield Gets Real, Garfield's Fun Fest, and Garfield's Pet Force.
Garfield Gets Real. It's just Garfield sitting in a backwards chair with a cigarette talking about how he did drugs. Listen up, kids. It's time for Garfield to get real.
Puts it out on the palm of his paw.
I've been through stuff you can't imagine.
He directed a Boxcar Children movie in 2014, followed up by a 2018 Boxcar Children sequel. 2017 directed a awful titled movie called Michael Jackson's Halloween. Yep.
Not even gonna know.
And then directed the Marmaduke Netflix film a couple of years ago.
He's on the comeback trail.
Yeah. Yeah. Not that this movie had him at a high, but it was his only studio film.
Yes.
I mean, The Reef 2, High Tide, maybe.
Theatrical release.
Yeah. All right. So
let's get to this plot, Oz. I am on the edge of my seat.
Buckle up, folks. we meet Al Simmons.
You're so sad right now. There's no heart. We meet this is painful for you.
I'm not thrilled with my choice. We meet Al Simmons, Marine Corps Force Recon Lieutenant Colonel, CIA operative, and loving family man.
Of course he is.
He's basically, we see he's assigned by Martin Sheen's character, Jason Wynn. We want you to infiltrate this biochemical weapons plant in North Korea. And as he's doing this, like, he's basically a glorified mercenary.
Yeah. Yeah. He's the one man army.
Yeah. Takes out everyone. I mean, it is what he does what he's supposed to do.
Yeah. It's that scene that lets you know this guy can take care of business.
Yeah. And then suddenly, despite working his way up to lieutenant colonel and CIA operative, he suddenly grows a moral compass and,
after racking up like the most kills in CIA history or something like that.
That suddenly he's like, I don't know if this is what I should be doing with my life.
It only took 197 hits for that moral compass to click.
Once I broke Jones's record, I didn't think that would ever happen. So because of his bizarrely timed moral qualms, he's ordered one more. I guess he's still on this like biochemical weapons plant. Well, apparently Wynn has sniffed out that he was going to flake out on him. And so he sent his top assassin, which honestly, I thought Al Simmons was the top assassin, but guess he's got a 006.
Simmons isn't busty enough.
I guess not. Since Jessica Priest and her her lingerie to go.
It was like late 90s Victoria's Secret model slash Shirley Manson from Garbage.
Exactly. like she's so good she doesn't even need to cover up. Like
she's only happy when it rains.
Oh my! Let's just talk about Garbage.
We'll have a lot more fun talking about that great '90s band Garbage.
So she's sent to murder him on this mission at this biochemical weapons plant.
But we're gonna send a guy into North Korea, and then we're gonna send another assassin after the first assassin in North Korea.
Because they knew that North Korea couldn't take Al Simmons down on their own. Only another one of my agents.
Yes, only another American CIA agent.
But I will give props to this, that at least they've demonstrated that, a woman is equally as capable as a man.
We found the silver lining of this movie.
Mark Aze Dippy.
Groundbreaker.
Yeah. So she shoots him down, and before he dies, Wynn shows up out of nowhere. Because they all have access to this biochemical weapons plant.
In North Korea.
Yeah. Sets him on fire, which then causes the plant to explode. Apparently, Priest and Wynn made it out just in the nick of time.
And they flew out of the Millennium Falcon just as it was exploding.
Yeah, the Quinjet was ready. And so Simmons arrives in Hell, where shocking news to me, Satan is not the sole ruler of Hell. Apparently, Hell has been broken into states, I guess.
It's got different layers of corporate management.
Exactly. So middle manager,
Malebolgia.
Yeah, Male Baloney, I guess is his name. Malebolgia. Offers him in his most gravelly voice a deal, because it's a Faustian deal, which makes sense because you're in hell.
Because you're in hell. Yeah.
Which I guess they picked Simmons because of his resume. I guess if you agree to become my eternal servant and leader of my army in Armageddon, I'll let you go see your wife, Wanda. Which Simmons is like, because the only thing that's ever mattered in my life is my wife.
What?
We also meet future new husband in all of this too. Is like there's this fun little. It reminded me a little bit of True Lies of like
sure
Wanda's married to like Schwarzenegger as Al Simmons, and then there's the Tom Arnold like don't make him late, just that fun little back and forth. Yeah. So that doesn't matter really. Nothing in this movie matters.
No, nothing matters.
If you're this far, ladies and gentlemen, this episode is a waste of your time. Just fast forward to the bits, and you'll be happy. So Spawn comes back to Earth 5 years later, because we get fun little like, hey, there's his headstone.
Yeah,
and,
it's a long commute back and forth from hell.
It is. So Wanda's married to Terry now, and his goatee. Spawn realizes this as he comes across the like Cyan's birthday party, which of course. John Leguizamo is the clown at. Like we see him everywhere, and we realize that Terry and Wanda are together when Terry gives her a slap on the butt.
Yeah,
so or vice versa, one of the two.
Something like that.
Which he like Spawn's hiding in the bushes as like a homeless man.
Yeah,
severely burnt. I almost put Nightmare on Elm Street in my movie Marriage. But didn't because again I didn't want to tarnish
a good movie,
the good name of that film. And so the dog comes over and of course get away, whatever. Then Cyan comes over because little girls often leave the center of attention of their birthday parties to go see the homeless man in the bushes.
Yeah, the scary burned homeless man.
Mm-hmm. You're totally comfortable with his appearance.
How old do you think Cyan is? Did they
five?
So she is 5.
Well, yeah, they had this was her 5th because
was it her 5th birthday party?
Well, yeah, he was gone for 5 years, and she was pregnant when he left.
Okay,
so I'm putting her at 5.
Got it. Okay,
incredible amount of friends for a 5-year-old. Like it's impressive how large her network is at age 5.
It's a large social circle. She's got her own business cards.
Yeah. And so we see Spawn cross paths with Violator, which really isn't his name until he takes a different form, I guess. But it's John Leguizamo in a fat suit with a giant star. I guess I could have gone Kiss as a reference.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But I didn't. I don't want to tarnish the good name.
Besmirch the good name of Kiss.
Gene Simmons' group project. So yeah, Malebolgia sends Violator to basically go back to Earth, and I want you to guide Spawn to the path of evil. Because Malebolgia is a really bad judge of character, as he enlists the newest member of Hell, Al Simmons, to be the leader, but then quickly realizes, I don't think he's got it in him. Like,
we've been waiting decades, centuries for a leader for this army.
Look at all these people that look exactly like Spawn, ready to be led. They're just,
but there's no way we can unleash this army of millions of demons unless we have Al Simmons leading them.
Right. And so
it'll go awry just that.
It's the final piece of this puzzle.
Yeah.
It's like a mail order puzzle. You don't buy a jigsaw puzzle in a box. You buy it one piece at a time. And then the final piece is really what ties the room together. And so, we've got Violator here. That is, honestly, I really struggled with this character. Not only because it's absolutely awfully portrayed, but I couldn't figure out, like, what side is he on? Sometimes he's like, Spawn, I'm going to help you. And then other times he's like, hey, Win, let's go kill Spawn. And it's I couldn't figure out what his purpose was.
I don't know. Maybe he's like a anarchy Joker sort of.
I guess, because even Malebolgia's like, I'll make you a deal. You lead my army, I'll send you back to Earth to see your wife. Which Malebolgia seems fine with that deal. And then Violator apparently keeps violating his orders. from Malebolgia, whatever.
It's just more excuses to make fart jokes.
Yes, because it is 1997, and we have the world's top special effects artists on hand
to make green CG fart clouds come out of a clown demon's butt.
Exactly. Like, we have the top. If I remember correctly, did I see?
I think K&B did effects for this. Something tells me they didn't do
no, they didn't do the effects. Digital, right? Which that'll come back later.
Got it.
And so Spawn leaves the birthday party and he's roaming the city because I guess Malebolgia's kept his word. Hey, you got to see your wife, but now come back to hell. So Violator's trying to make Spawn evil, basically just trying to antagonize him at all steps, but also. I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah. Moving on.
So Spawn finds himself in Homeless Alley because every city has one.
Yep.
And we know it's Homeless Alley because there's barrels and foggy smoke.
Yep.
We've covered this before. We know where homeless people are. All you have to look for is the
wet, steamy alley.
Yeah, you have to look at steam coming out of the manholes in the background, and you know you're in the right place.
Yep.
And so he comes across this homeless boy named Zach who's ran away from his abusive father. He also meets this older man, Cogliostro, which right away should have said to Spawn, this guy's not from our time.
Yeah.
Not only because his name is Cogliostro, but because he speaks like, I just came from Shakespeare in the Park. That's, it's totally fine.
I mean, that's what you get if you're going to hire Nicole Williamson. You're going to get Shakespeare in the Park.
You're going to get it. And that's what they got. That's a touch of class to the film. And so we don't know his role yet. But we find out through just amazing storytelling that Wynn, in the last 5 years, Wynn has he's worked his way up to a weapons dealer, and he's developed this biological weapon called Heat 16. Apparently, the first 15 of them were failures.
Yeah, it's also a fragrance by Calvin Klein.
It is.
Last time I was at Carson Perry Scott, they sprayed some in my face.
Right. Get it at Bergner's.
Heat 16.
Yeah. And so, because he's this weapons dealer with this biological weapon, he gets the red carpet treatment. He gets this reception. Wynn gets this reception. Everybody gets to celebrate how amazing he is. Spawn shows up, comes down through the ceiling with his gigantic cape, kills Jessica finally because she's still dressed in the same nothing that she was dressed in earlier. And he escapes. This is where Spawn starts to figure out that he has an absolute endless amount of powers. Including not only his cape, but his fighting ability, his super suit, full of, as it says here, necroplasmic armor. Yep,
I think that was Rammstein's third album. Necroplasmic armor.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
and so following this attack, Violator, he realizes, wait a second here, this isn't going to plan. Spawn is supposed to be evil, and why is he fighting Wynn? Well, it's because he was sent back to kill Wynn. That's the whole point. So Spawn is sent to go kill Wynn, not knowing why, other than just told to go kill Wynn, which he's happy with, because the one person on planet Earth he's supposed to go kill happens to be the person that killed him.
Yeah.
Thankfully, he knew exactly who this person was. So really the grand scheme of all this is Heat 16, because it's biochemical, if released, would basically end life on the planet.
Yeah.
And that's whatever the demon guy's name is. Malebolgia.
Frank Welker in his best 80s villain voice.
Yeah. If we can kill Wynn and release that gas and kill the planet, then Armageddon is upon us, and the Hellspawn can go to Earth and have a new place to live, I guess, because life is over.
Yeah. And also, the reason why they have to kill, or why they want to kill Wynn, is because Wynn had like a trigger implanted in his heart.
A pacemaker.
Yes, so that if he dies, then it's like released globally. So no, so you can't kill Wynn.
No, it's that's you're absolutely right. That was the next part of my notes. Now I don't have to talk about that. So cool.
Moving on. You're welcome, my friend.
So yeah, Malebolgia wants Simmons to kill Wynn to initiate the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Spawn basically has enough of Violator, which, to give him credit, he has a lot longer leash than I would have had. So he confronts him, which, again, I'm going to confront this short, stupid clown.
Yep.
Which then, I'm a demon, basically turns into a giant version of Radon Chong's character in Tales from the Dark Side. Look it up, folks. Much better film. Not by much, but it's still much better.
This is not a very high bar here.
No. Now, I referenced a Radon Chong horror film. And so he basically, Violator the clown turns into this giant gremlin thing and just beats him down in the streets. Like, it's all CGI, 100%. Yeah. It's all like bad CGI too.
When it's all in the dark, so like like everything in this movie takes place at night to try to hide the effects as well.
It's like Blade fighting Deacon Frost at the end of Blade, like that level of bad special effects.
Or it's just a couple of Gumbies.
Yes, only in the dark, which does give it a little bit more credibility, because at least when Blade fought Deacon Frost... Let's talk about Blade for a little bit. When Blade fought Deacon Frost at the end of Blade, that was done like in this well-lit chamber, to which it looked terrible.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, Spawn gets beat down, and which, as if that wasn't a precursor to things to come, when Violator turns back into the clown, he even says... Clown 1, Spawn 0, letting you know that there will be a round 2 later on.
Unfortunately.
So this is where Cagliostro shows up again and reveals himself as, hey, buddy, I also am a former Hellspawn, but I freed my soul, and now I work for Heaven.
Of course, doesn't intervene during the fight.
Nope. No.
Waits till Violator leaves.
He had a lesson Simmons had a lesson to learn. And I don't know if I'd put all my stock in Heaven either, Cagliostro, as you're now an agent of Heaven who lives in a homeless alley.
Sullying the good name of Heaven.
That's where the big JC sent you. You just go hang out with Miko Hughes. All will be okay. It'll be okay. Just give it a few years. I have a feeling something's going down in hell that's going to make things worth it. And he's like, okay. So Cagliostro, with no emotion at all, basically he doesn't really teach him how to use his armor. He just tells him, you can use your armor.
Yeah.
Just think about it.
Okay.
Just think about it. Just think about it. It's like Kevin Nealon, trying to it's Kevin Nealon in Happy Gilmore when he was
see the ball.
Yeah, just see the ball. Just think about it. You could use your armor. So this is, and then Spawn's told that Violator and Wynn to move the story along. Thankfully, we're going to go kill Terry, Cyan, and Wanda. To which Spawn reacts with, Wanda. Okay, Cyan is your child. She's your child. That's not Terry's kid. Terry's a stepdad. That's your kid. And your only reaction is like, Wanda? I know you don't have a connection with your kid, but that's your kid. According to Wikipedia, Terry was the stepfather, so I'm going to go with that.
Okay. I wasn't sure, honestly, who the father was. Not that it really matters in this movie.
No, it was cloudy, but going off of when I was trying to wrap my head around the summary of this plot, I read through Wikipedia, and it's like Terry was the stepdad. So,
okay.
But that also could be wrong because I doubt editors are checking the Wikipedia plot because I don't think they care.
Yeah, it's Spawn.
It's like, yeah. So Terry works for Wynn because who doesn't?
Mm-hmm.
And Terry kind of gets a whiff of something bad is going on. Like,
and he's like the PR guy.
Yeah.
So he went from being an active CIA agent to PR guy.
Mm-hmm. He's a family man now.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to make the same mistake that Al Simmons made. Not that D.B. Sweeney was like in the same caliber as Michael Jai White when it comes to holding your own, but yada yada yada. Terry he finds out Wynn's secret.
Mm-hmm.
He sends an email to a newsman, but this is back in 1997 when sending an email took minutes. Exactly. It took minutes. So just as the email is sent, Wynn walks in with cyan, shoots the computer. Spawn and Cagliostro show up, almost kill Wynn, almost kill him. But then Spawn's like, wait a second.
No, he's got the dead man switch.
I have whatever power I need.
Mm-hmm.
So he removes the dead man switch from Wynn with the power of CGI.
Yes, with the power of hell.
Yeah. And destroys it, which should have set off everything, I think.
I don't get it. Like, he did destroy it. It was just after he took it off of the heart. It's the power of human love that,
I guess.
that arms this tactical weapon.
Like, either way, the power has been broken here. And so he removes it and destroys it. So now Violator is angry. And he sends Spawn and Cagliostro back to hell because he's had this power all along. He's like Glenda. I could have sent you home at any time, but I didn't. Also shaped the same way as Glenda's bubble.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And so sends him to hell where he turns back into Violator and they fight. And he loses because Spawn in round 2, he now knows the tricks. It's like Rocky 1 to Rocky 2.
Sure.
There's so many comps this movie could have made.
Unfortunately, they didn't.
But I didn't want to sully the good name of those films. And so, Malebolgia then shows up and Spawn's like, I'm not leading your army, homie. And Spawn then escapes hell with Cagliostro just before Malebolgia's forces. I think Malebolgia's forces could have taken Spawn if they had a leader, which ironically they didn't.
Yeah, because it was all down to Al Simmons.
Yep, and he said nope. So Spawn escapes easily because, again, no leader for these armies.
Yeah, what are they going to do?
All this is happening, by the way, through the fire in the fireplace.
Yep.
Much like Harry Potter. Like the flue system where you could travel. It's, again, endless comps. Endless. And so Violator, he also comes out because they thought he trapped him in hell. When he lost, he didn't. He makes one more visit back to the living room where he's suddenly small enough to fit in the living room. And he and Spawn fight again, which Cagliostro reminds him because they just fought like 82 seconds ago.
Yeah.
But reminded him, don't forget your armor. Like,
oh, that's right. Thanks for telling me.
Man. Yeah, I thought it was all out of gas.
Thanks, mentor.
And so, he decapitates Violator with his magical chains. Ghost Rider.
Yeah, there you go. Also Ghost Rider.
But I don't want to sully the name of that.
Of Ghost Rider. Nicolas Cage would be rolling over in his grave.
And, oh no, I lost my notes. There it is. So decapitates him. It turns back to the clown head. CGI crawls back into the fire. Detectives show up, arrest Wynn, because again, Wynn's still there.
He's still alive, despite the fact that his heart just got poked.
Right, it's okay. It was done with the powers of hell. And so Spawn realizes there's no place for me in your world anymore, Wanda. Like, I've come to terms with I look awful, and who knows if we started a relationship again, what may happen to you? Like,
well, I mean, he just can't keep up with DB Sweeney. I mean, really.
Well, and to be fair, I think he's afraid of hurting Wanda, as I don't think Al Simmons fully knows where the chains are going to emerge from.
Yeah, true.
At any given moment. And so Zach shows up with the dog because he set him on a mission a long time ago. Yeah. Go find the dog.
And then they just show up at this house.
Yeah. I found your dog, mister. He basically set him on, it was bad. And so we end with the final shot in Homeless Alley and Spawn sitting on the top of a weather vane, lightning rod, I guess, with
surrounded by gargoyles, stone gargoyle kind of thing.
But luckily, though, it doesn't rain on Homeless Alley anymore because Al Simmons' football field sized cape is keeping them all out of the elements.
It's just a big tarp,
right?
Tarpaulin.
So what is this? Isn't my obviously the movie didn't go anywhere. I'm not going to read the comics, but what is Spawn's purpose now?
I know I've never read this series.
Okay, this isn't a good movie by any stretch, but at least there were villains set up in this one. Okay, so you defeated Violator, or so we think, and Malebolgia still doesn't have a leader for his Apocalypse army. So what's the threat? From here on, what is the threat?
Heat 17.
I guess. Oh my, that's Spawn, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us.
At this point in the show, folks, Oz and I give our own unique rating about the film, the illustrious film we've been yapping about. In this case, 1997 Spawn. Hey, Oz, how would you rate this flick?
Bad.
Just bad.
Just bad.
Bad.
I'm gonna put Michael Jackson's album cover on the
nice.
So what are you rating it?
I'm going to give this 13 fart jokes from hell. That's all I got. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that'll be fun to find at least. I'll give you some enjoyment.
Next up, we've got Outside Insights. Oz and I have been scouring the interwebs, searching for unprofessional reviews that tickle our funny bones, and we hope they tickle yours as well. Hey, Oz, what's your outside insight for Spawn?
I have 3, and humor me because I like them all. The first one happens to be from The Undertaker. Mean Mark left this one just this last December. The Dark Knight might be my favorite superhero movie, but that doesn't change what I feel about this movie. I think this movie is an underrated masterpiece with a strong lead performance by Michael Jai White and some really impressive special effects. And I absolutely love John Leguizamo as the Violator, the clown in this movie. He's comedy gold, in my opinion. This movie is so overlooked, in my opinion, that the hate it gets is uncalled for. 5 stars. That was off Letterboxd. My next 2 are off Amazon.
Okay.
This is from Christopher R. It's a 5-star review titled "Living in the Moment."
Okay.
Left December 7th of 2020.
At least this person's self-aware.
I hadn't seen this movie in years. I'm going to pause at the periods.
Okay.
I hadn't seen this movie in years. Came across some action figures of Spawn for my 5-year-old, and so I decided we should watch the movie. It has to go in that very order. Yeah, maybe read the comic in the future. We are too much invested in this movie always. I had already bought it. WTF, my son's bedtime came in the first 20 minutes of the movie, so he had to go to bed. I didn't plan this. And continued watching. Now, let me remind you, I saw this movie when I was 10, and I thought it was amazing having the toy, et cetera, et cetera. And I am amazed how impressed I was about movies and cinema world. Even though we are so advanced in technology and our movies almost always come alive. Our appreciation for those moments in time really does slow things down. Live in the moment and watch Spawn.
Wow, that was an emotional journey there.
Yeah, well, he didn't plan his son to go to bed. It surprised him. Oh my god!
Oh, it's bedtime. We're gonna have to interrupt watching this demon from hell who just got shot up and burned alive. 5-year-old son.
Good night.
Pleasant dreams.
Yeah. My last one here is from Matthew. It's 5-star review left in 2007.
Okay.
I own Spawn on VHS. Now purchasing DVD because I loved it.
Oh,
it's a whole different movie.
It's just a different medium.
Yeah. I decided to express my view on the Spawn movie VHS after I read some pathetic reviews posted here. One compared it to Spider-Man. Yuck. First, let me say the Spider-Man movies suck. I found it too cartoonish and juvenile with exposed cow teats from the get-go to sexually arouse and harass children, adolescents, and immature adults. Now on to Spawn. I love Spawn VHS. I found the CGI, blue screen, whatever, to be well done, but not overdone. I found this movie content to be mature and comical. I also enjoyed seeing an African American in the title role of a quality film, which is certainly not the norm. Summarizing, because he wrote an essay.
Yes.
Summarizing, I did not enjoy seeing women expose their private parts for sexual harassment. That's what adult saloons and burlesque is for. And I do not enjoy cartoonish film animated. I prefer action movies to be real action, a la Daniel Craig in Casino Royale. Well done.
That took a right turn.
Thank you, Matthew. I think that was really written by Cagliostro.
I think, yes, that was that. I could hear his voice as you were reading.
I do not enjoy seeing women expose their private parts for sexual harassment.
Ew, yuck.
For sexual harassment. Any other time, fair game.
Yeah.
Do not sexually harass me with your private parts, women. That's what adult saloons are for.
Yeah. As opposed to non-adult saloons.
Or underage saloons. Yes. All right. Those are my 3 outside insights. I'm just glad I found 3 people that enjoyed this movie, so I wanted to share their reactions. All right. What do you got?
I got a couple I'm going to read here as well.
Fair enough.
All from the Internet Movie Database. This first one is a 10 out of 10 from DXK Power, left in January of 2005. Personal note, I don't know how many times I have watched this movie, and each time I see it, I love it more and more.
Ooh, that's good.
The movie might be old, but it's still really well made, and I think it's even better than some of the recent classics that have come out. Okay.
Yep.
Here's another 10 out of 10 from Nutball, also left in 2005. Spawn is an amazing film that has a great cast. The acting by all of these actors is very good. White is excellent in this film. He's perfect for the role. Leguizamo was great and hilarious. Sheen performed good and is a great villain. Nicole Williamson had a performance here, and I love his voice. The film is quite interesting, and the movie really keeps you going until the end. This is a very good and thrilling film.
Oh, that's heartwarming.
Mm-hmm. Here's another 10 out of 10. Left April 2021, so only a couple years old as of the time of this recording. Amazing classic. CGI in this movie sucks, yes, but the movie is a classic, and the creator had no input in the making of the film. Overall, the movie is a great watch. Lots of mistakes, but it's Spawn.
Oh.
And then I will conclude on a 1 out of 10 here. This is left by Who's Mr. Keegan from May of 2003. This has got to be the worst comic adaptation I've ever seen. It's worse than The Punisher, and that movie sucked.
I had The Punisher in my movie marriage at one point.
We're punishing ourselves.
When I realized that early on Al Simmons was just using guns.
Yes.
I took it out when I realized that once he found the power of his suit. Whatever.
Didn't want to besmirch Tom Jane.
No.
Or Dolph Lundgren.
Or the guy from Walking Dead.
Yeah. The special effects look cheesy. Michael Jai isn't anywhere evil enough. And what was John Leguizamo doing in this pathetic film? If I could give this movie a minus rating, I would. Run away, save yourself.
Or live in the moment.
Or live in the moment. And watch it with your 5-year-old child.
Right before bedtime.
Good night.
Yeah, we did. Like 20 minutes in, you didn't even get to the point where Spawn was actually a do-gooder.
Yeah. He's a CIA hitman, and now he's in hell.
And now he's an extreme burn victim that's battling Balrog down in the...
Good night, my child. Sleep tight.
Right.
Don't let the hell demons bite.
I'm gonna go finish the movie, by the way.
All right, hey folks, it's that point in the show you've all been waiting for, our signature segment, the 3-2-1, in which Oz and I will each share 3 goods, 2 bads, and 1 about this week's movie, Spawn. Hey Oz, what are your 3 goods?
I will give credit where credit is due. The practical effects in this film were fine. Like they were they were
passable.
Yeah, they were good enough that the CGI looked ridiculous when you were trying to blend the two together. So I will give that. Like Leguizamo, his makeup looked good. Like he's not that short. So like kudos to that. Like they did, K&B did a good job of the practical effects.
Sure.
2, it fit this month's theme. So that's good.
It checked a box.
It did. And 3 and 3 based on the length of the credits, a lot of people got paid to work on this film. So
sure, yeah, it was allowed a job. People to live their lives.
Martin Sheen certainly looked at it as a job. So
he's going to come back in a moment for me. If you don't beat me to it.
Nope. Those are my 3 goods. Okay. Go for it.
My 3 goods, as we mentioned before, Michael Jai White gives it his all.
He does.
He is at least trying. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to say it's a great performance, but like he's given it the old college try. So kudos to Michael Jai White for trying to do his job. My second one is man's best friend. The dog. I'm not going to say the name of the dog because it's one of those names that's kind of it has.
I don't even remember the name of the dog, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's kind of a word that. There's some ableism to it. Yeah. But but the dog recognizes Al. So, hey, good. Man's best friend. Cool dog. And my last good, although it's very brief, we have a punks in a cemetery scene.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, like Dead Alive, Return of the Living Dead.
I like movie punks.
Yes.
That's how bad. I didn't want to ruin solely the good name of those movies by including it.
So, yes, we have a very brief, and I wish they would have fought. Like somebody, but we have a punks in a cemetery scene. So
yeah, I completely forgot.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Those are my 3 goods. As hey, let's hear about your 2 bads. I bet you really had to reach for these.
It was hard finding it. I was surprised you found a 1-star review. And so my first bad, and I'd mentioned it several times. This movie is it's just confusing. Like I watched the movie. It wasn't like I just had it on as I was doing other things. Like I was watching it, and it was just very hard to follow the rationale of anyone's decision except Al Simmons. Like I just couldn't figure it out. So that's my first bad. It's just a very confusing plot. Mm-hmm. And 2, I understand why the clown was so fat. I think it was because of all of the scene chewing John Leguizamo was doing. Mm-hmm. Like he had to be fat. So Leguizamo was at his Leguizamost.
Yes.
And definitely brought. He probably didn't even have a script. It was probably just John Leguizamo being John Leguizamo.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most of the acting in general in this movie is awful. Like everybody's again, Michael Jai White tried, so I'm not going to include him, but everybody else is just bad.
Well, and there are John Leguizamo roles I don't mind when he's not being the pest. Like he's just it's too much.
Yeah,
and so I don't mind John Leguizamo as a performer when the content is good.
Correct.
But if he's left to his own devices, this is what we get.
Yeah, he lowers to the quality there. Yeah.
Yes, very much so. So that's my second bad. What do you got?
My first one, it's kind of a take on, like you were talking more about the plot. I'm going to talk just more about the tone. Mm-hmm. Like it's just weird. It's all over the place. Mm-hmm. Like we go from like like these religious themes to like fart jokes, and then there's like, you know, trying to save a child, and there's like boing, boing, boing sound effects, and like
right. Well, and like very inappropriate sexual suggestions towards said child.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, in addition to the plot being everywhere, like the tone and the feel is just like, it's just really jarring.
Well, and it's, you know, again, another equally, you know, successful comp would have been almost like Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
Only that movie knew they were splitting the tone. Like,
yes, that was intentional, and it worked.
Yeah, and they did it obviously with animation and live action. So, you know, that movie works because Roger Rabbit is supposed to be the comedy of the movie.
And that's part of the joke. That's part of the bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Humans interacting, you know, with these, you know, like literal and figurative cartoon characters.
Yeah, and there's times in this where it felt like a similar vibe of like, what am I supposed to be feeling here? Mm-hmm. Like, am I supposed to laugh at this? Yeah. Or, I agree with you 100%.
And then my other bad is, if another possible movie marriage for me would have been Rudy Giuliani's dripping hair. Martin Sheen's like hair dye in this movie is something else. Like it's Giuliani-esque, you know, where it was like that moment just where it was just
running down his face.
Yeah, it's like the blackest of black hair dye. They got his goatee and everything. Like he just looks bizarre and
stupid. Yeah, stupid.
So like Martin Sheen went to the Tony Hopkins School of Acting, but he also went to Rudy Giuliani's hairdresser. So so yes, Martin Sheen's weird hair dye job, in addition to his scene chewing as well.
It was. I mean, they had. I mean, between Leguizamo and Martin Sheen, you had at least recognizable performers in this film.
Yeah.
And they just completely mailed it in.
Yeah. So those are my two bads out of many, many possibilities. Hey, Oz, what's your one for Spawn?
Like I mentioned earlier, what are his powers?
Yeah.
Like even Superman, who seems to have an incredible amount of powers, still has like limits. I mean, Superman can't just do anything, but like Spawn apparently could do anything he wanted to, and whenever he needed to. So with that, it's like I don't understand what his powers are outside of just, you know, pure imagination. I guess Willy Wonka would have been another good comp for this movie, but I didn't want to sully the name of that Johnny Depp film. Oh, so that's my hunch. I don't know what Spawn's powers are.
Yeah.
What is yours?
I'm going to mention, just quickly run through several other things.
Yeah.
There's a moment where it's after the big battle in that ballroom, and the EMTs bring Priest's body out, and there's a quote from the EMTs: gunshot wound to the head, doc, and the doctor says, "Well, she's dead." So
top-notch medical assessment.
Yes, well, she's dead. There's another scene where Wanda is giving a press conference about the virus because apparently she's like an immunologist or something like that. And
small world.
And like she's in this big auditorium, but her daughter is there, and Al Spawn comes across her and then beats her in a high school basketball gym that is adjacent to this auditorium.
Forgot about that too.
Yep. So
it's working. My willingness to just forget this movie is working. Like scene at a time, it is erasing from my memory.
Here's just another one before I get to my real just because there's so many. At the very, very end, we see Spawn and Cogliostro and Zach with the dog.
Yeah.
So did Wanda and Cyan and Terry just give them the dog, or did the dog just go, or
because that dog will clearly have a better life living in a homeless alley.
In a homeless alley. My real just why not? This movie's everywhere. We'll break our own rules. My real is that while Wynn is having his heart surgery, while he's having this dead man switch attached to his heart, he's wide awake.
Oh yeah.
He's wide awake. So the is, who, like, was there no anesthesiologist available? Like, he's wide awake and he seems completely comfortable and conversive.
He doesn't want to miss a thing.
So like that's a lot of like local anesthetic to use for open heart surgery.
Yeah, it's a lot of Novocaine shots to the area.
A lot of Vicks Vapo rub they put on there. So he's open heart surgery, wide awake.
Yep.
So that's my actual
It was done at night. Anesthesiologists don't work nights.
No, they don't. It's part of their training, actually. Yeah. So, hey, folks, that's 1997 Spawn. N.A. Oz, that wraps up non-Marvel DC comic book movie month.
I'm already happier that we're done with this film. Continue making me happier. What's next month's theme and what's your first pick?
Well, next month's theme, as I open everything up just to make sure I'm I'm not forgetting something. Next month's theme is as you mentioned earlier, rolls off the tongue a lot easier than this month's theme. Next month's theme is quite simply summer movies.
Right.
In which every movie must have the word summer in the title.
Now, we do know that summer doesn't technically kick off until like June 21st.
Correct. However, yes.
Working in education, our summer starts sooner.
Yes. Yes. At the time of recording, this will be May 2024. Mm-hmm. And this is also, Oz, this is a 5-weeker.
Yes, it is a long month.
Yes.
And there are no spawns on the horizon.
No, just looking at what we have here, I think we've got a fun month planned out here.
We did almost put
Summer of Sam.
We almost did put another Leguizamo movie on.
Yes. I originally had Summer of Sam, but as I was reflecting back, like it's a good movie. It's a Spike Lee movie. It's also a really heavy movie
compared to what we're doing the rest of the month. Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to kick things off with an Oz and Curtis favorite.
Yes.
This is a movie that I think on IMDb has a 6.5. It's really kind of a love it or hate it movie.
Oh, easily.
We are going to go with
the Bradley Cooper vehicle.
Yes, Bradley Cooper vehicle, Wet Hot American Summer.
I see. I'm happier already.
Yes, another movie with zero plot, but is absolutely hysterical. It is just 90 minutes of laughs, some amazing performances.
David Wayne knocked this out of the park.
Yes.
Love this movie. Absolutely. I don't remember how many times we'd watched this movie when it came out on DVD, but it was a lot.
Yeah, we that laser from the player burned a hole through the disc in this one for us.
It did. First time ever.
Yes, so. It's possible.
We've got a really good, fun month.
Yeah.
The second one is easily one of my favorite films.
Yes, I know that's one of your personal favorites.
It's one of my personal favorites. Really shaped my mind as a young professional and continued that. But no, just a really, really fun month overall.
Yeah. We got a little horror we'll get to later on in the month.
Is it?
Well,
it is. Technically, yes, but it's
in the horror genre.
Yeah, it is. But it's goofy, but it's fun.
Yes.
But yeah, we've got a really strong 5-week summer month movie.
Yes. To help prepare our viewers and listeners for summer, we will go with summer movies.
Mm-hmm. So, social media wise, you guys could find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We do have a Patreon link down below if you'd like to join if you'd like to be the Al Simmons of our Patreon army.
We've been waiting. Our Patreons can't be unleashed until we have a proper leader.
They are waiting.
That's how the Spawnverse works.
That's right. And so if you'd like to join, Patreon link is down below. Other than that, I'm glad that this movie is over. It was a fun month, really.
I'm glad this movie's over. Overall, it was a fun month. We ended on a clunker, which does happen from time to time. It seems like
that's okay.
We have a couple months a year where, for whatever reason, the movie that concludes the month is clearly the least of the ones.
Well, here's my theory on that. You don't know what a good movie is unless you experience a bad one.
Correct. Yeah.
And so that was my underlying purpose of that was my Cagliostro moment. We finally have revealed that, yes, I picked this movie just to shine light on the other three.
Yes.
No, I did not. Complete regret. But no, we
regret.
It was
really rethinking life choices.
Well, not that many, just this one. But no, regret. That's one of your favorite songs.
It is one of my favorite songs from New Order.
So yeah, that wraps up non-Marvel DC comic book movie month. We will be back next month with summer movies, kicking off with, like you said, What About American Summer. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the increasingly improving weather as we're wrapping up on a mid to late spring here, and things are just turning green and becoming nice. So, yay! It's not like rainy, homeless isles.
It's not dank and wet and foggy.
No, not at all. So, all right. Well, for Let's Talk About Flicks, I'm Oz.
I'm Curtis.
We'll see you guys next week.